The sport of hunting with coonhounds has been part of American history for centuries, going back to the early 1700s, and continues to this very day in parts of the country. Steeped in rich history and tradition, coon hunting is a pastime fond of many. Nestled in the hills of eastern Appalachian, Kentucky, those traditions are taken very seriously. Handed down from generation to generation, Ryan Houston comes from a family who have been coon hunting for over 110 years.
I started coon hunting. I went the first time when I was 2 years old. My dad would carry me to the woods with him, and he would take me to the trees. And as I got a little older, his buddies, they would take me. I'd go with them, and they would take turns packing me. And I got addicted to listening to hounds. I got addicted to listening to them strike and tree. And I like a good tree dog. That's the whole deal for me. I like to hear that dog chopping on that tree. There's a lot of people that think we go out here and every time we tree, we shoot it out or shake it out or something like that. That's a huge misconception. I would say in the last 2 years, I maybe have taken 2 coon, and that was in season. We enjoy the hunt. We turn coons loose and we try to preserve so you can always tree one when you turn loose. There was a time years ago, if you would tree 2 coons in a week, you were flying. Coon were very thin around here. We used to travel to Ohio and we would buy them in bulk and bring them down here to the Coon Hunters Club, and we would distribute them to the hunters, and we would all go turn them loose where we hunted at. And now the coon population's rising really fast, and we're getting to where you can tree 8 or 10 a night, depending on if you got a good dog or not. We qualified this year for the Tournament of Champions. They had 5 regions this year. And we've already qualified for next year. So we'll probably go to either Lancaster, Kentucky, or Mount Gilead, Ohio, where we'll hunt out of what they call a satellite club. There'll be several dogs there, and there'll be a bunch of different clubs pitch in order to let all the hunters go. And everybody will have an equal opportunity to hunt. When my dad got real sick, I made a decision that I was going to grant one more dog for my dad. And I took a dog I was hunting at the time, and I went to a club in Highland County, Ohio, and I drew 2 really, really nice dogs. And I won that hunt. I was a high-scoring dog of the hunt. And I couldn't get out of bed for 2 days after that. So I knew that competition hunting for an old crippled deputy sheriff was pretty well over. And I run into this boy now that's handling for me. Yeah. I took an interest in him. The kid loves to coon hunt. He's a good kid. And he's a little confused about the rules, so I took him in and started talking to him and teaching him. And now he's becoming a really, really good handler. Autumn oaks that's what they call the granddaddy of them all. That's my opinion. To get a dog right for autumn oaks, you need to hunt it hard for 2 months and get the dog clicking, grooving, and be able to compete. And we're going to be doing that. We live down here in little eastern Kentucky, and we're going to go up there and try to represent our little part of the country. And we're going to compete with all the big boys. They're going to be dogs up there worth more than probably my house. That's just the one I want to draw.
Tyler Barker, a young up-and-comer in the arena of coon hunting, is considered a rising star in the sport. He is being trained by Ryan Houston and has 15 wins to his credit.
We're training for autumn oaks. We're getting ready for that big hunt. It's the biggest hunt of the year for grand night dogs. That's what everybody wants to do, is win the autumn oaks and be ready for it. And we're just trying to get our dog ready for autumn oaks and have him on his game for when we get there. We just got back from a hunt. We was up in Ohio. We got us another win. We're at 15 now. So
He drew 2 Grand Nut Champion dogs, pretty nice dogs, both of them. The one female he drew, she was the youngest dog in, I believe, the history of UKC to make Grand Nut Champion.
it takes 50 wins to get into the Hall of Fame, and that's what we're really shooting for, is get our 50 wins to be done.
He's coming up in the world. He's learning. I'm teaching him how to handle the way my dad taught me.
I like coon hunting. It keeps me out of trouble. I've liked it ever since I was a kid. It's brought me out. I've done it all my life. It's kept me out of trouble, and I love it. It's fun to competition hunt and get out and meet new people and fellowship. And some nights you're going to have bad nights, some nights you're going to have your good nights. But it's all about sportsmanship.
I looked into the face of an old saint of God.
On July 17, 2020, I lost my dad to cancer. My dad was just an avid, diehard coon hunter. He lived it, he breathed it. He did everything revolved around coon hunting. My dad loved it. The only thing he loved more than coon hunting was his grandkids. That was the greatest thing in the world to him. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed hunting with my dad. And that's one of the reasons I'm back in this, is I want to keep my dad's name and his legacy alive in the coon hunting world. That's why I'm pushing to put this dog in the hall, because I'd like the Houston name to be there, because anybody that associates my dad or myself would generally associate us with coon hunting.
He holds you very close in the palm of his hand. Let it read on my tombstone, gone away with a friend. Now he's my
Yeah, I wish my dad would have been here with us tonight. We had a real hunt. Dad would have really liked it. Dad likes to see a dog get by himself, and I believe he's helping us a little bit, because we've been on a winning streak like I haven't been on since the early 90s. I believe Dad's up there pushing us. I sure miss him. On the road to the Hall of Fame, he would have liked to have been on the ride.
from the ties that bind me here. I'm going away with Jesus, no greater friend so dear. Gone away with a friend, someone closer than a brother.